and very excited to introduce our guest today, Chelsea Dillick. I've had the pleasure of knowing Chelsea for a few years, and she is the team leader of Think Team Dillick, who is based in Missouri. And Chelsea today is going to be sharing her insights and how she's created a unique team culture with recruiting and retention. And we were just chatting a little bit about how someone had approached her. She didn't actively recruit this agent, but this agent approached her because they were just looking for teams to join. And this person approached her for her team because of just how much they stood out for their culture. And that's why they wanted to join her team. So like I mentioned, feel free to unmute. This is an interactive session, or post any questions in the chat throughout. With that said, welcome, Chelsea. Thank you so much for joining, and I will let you take it from here on sharing your insights on your team and your culture.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Elena. I'm super excited to be here. This is my favorite topic to speak about. I'm super passionate about it. I told the girl I met with this morning, she said she was looking around online, saw our team. We don't have a lot of teams here. I'm in a small area, but she said she was looking at reviews, looking at Facebook pages, Google, and she said, it just seems like your culture is very important. And I was able to say that is one of our team's superpowers for sure. I feel like that's definitely our superpower, is having a really great culture. So I could talk about this for a long time, but I'll stick to my time, and we'll get started. So so going beyond the split and building a team of agents who never want to leave. So I'm a person who starts usually with a new agent, somebody freshly licensed, and build from the ground up with them, start building their business together. We do have some agents that have been in the business for a long time, but I would say kind of our specialty is agents who are newly licensed and really starting with the foundation of their business. So it's really fun for me to be involved in the very, very beginning. So if you guys don't mind, if you're on and active with us here live, if you can put in the chat, like where you're at in your journey. So if this is like you've recently started a team, you have a team of X amount of agents, I would love to know how many agents you have and when you started your business, when you started your actual team, or maybe you're aspiring to be a team leader. You're just considering if you want to start a team or not. That's another super important place to be. So if you can post it in the chat, that'd be super appreciative. I just want to know like who our audience is today and who all we have with us and what you are going through in your business. So
Sean said, hi, thanks for excited for it. I'll bear you the fun of chasing a 1-year-old around. And then he said, 20 agent team here in Ocala. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Where is Ocala? And always growing. So that is cool. I'm going to Google Ocala.
Love it. That's awesome. So we're in a really similar spot with agents. That's exciting. So awesome. I'd love to hear that.
Looks like it's a city in Florida.
Okay. Sounds like Florida. That's what I was thinking. So good. Never heard of it, but sounds great. Better weather than Missouri.
Welcome. We were just curious. Chelsea was asking where you are in your journey of growing a team, whether you're an aspiring team lead, you can just put in the chat, or you can unmute. Or if you have a team, feel free to put it in the chat or unmute and share. Sean was saying that he has a 20 agent team in a place called Ocala, Florida.
So awesome. So I'll tell just a very brief about our team and where we're at. This is a picture of us last summer. We've grown a little bit since then. We have 15 agents. We've got 3 full-time admin staff and still growing. So we're really excited. This is my 5th year for having a team. I kept it really small in the beginning and not a lot of intentions to grow a whole lot. And I'll talk a little bit about that today, but I didn't have intentions of getting real big, and I still don't know exactly where we're going to land, but we're just enjoying the journey of what's happening in our growth right now. And yeah, it's exciting. I love every single day. I love it. It's super stressful and it is kind of crazy, but I do love it. And I think this is without a doubt what I was meant to do. So okay, so if you have a team, or if you are aspiring to have a team, I want you to think about and put yourself in the place of what got me here. Like, why do I want to start a team if you don't have one yet? Or if you do have a team, what made you start the team in the first place? Like, what was the driving factor of creating the team? And I will say, usually that comes down to leverage and growth, right? There's only so much as an individual agent that we can actually grow. and that we can actually do on our own. And so I'll share with you guys a little bit about my journey in starting my team. One came from a need of, I saw a lot of agents who would get into the business and get out pretty quickly because it was very difficult and they didn't have a lot of direction, accountability, training. There was a lot of things missing in my area, probably something you guys have seen around your area too, is just a lack. And nobody gets their real estate license to just get out of business within, a year or two. Nobody has those intentions when they get in it. Their intentions are to give this a go and make it their career. And so I saw that. And the other thing is I got so busy in real estate that I had to, I was very overwhelmed. I was handling it okay, but I knew I'm just the kind of person that doesn't want to stop growing. I'm always going to want to grow. And there's only so much. You can't leverage when it's just you. And so those were the two real driving factors of my team, what started my team. Over the years, it's for sure changed. I've always been a trainer in every job, everything I've ever done in life, I've been a trainer. But my real passion is seeing other people win using something that we've created together. That is 100% every day when I wake up and my feet hit the floor. That's the thing I think of is where are we going next and how can I help our agents get there? And together they're going to hit the goals that they got into this business to hit in the first place. And so like I said, it's definitely shifted over the years, but watching our agents make more money, watching them grow individually and their families and them as individual agents and just people in general, that's what drives me. And it's super, super exciting to watch my agents get opportunities. We're in a place now where a lot of them are getting different leadership opportunities, speaking engagements, just all kinds of different stuff. And it's so exciting to me because I know a lot of that confidence comes from what we built together. And so that's really what drives me now. And the other thing I love is seeing our friendships on the team. A lot of these agents didn't know each other at all. Like they didn't know each other before they joined the team. And now they're best friends. And now they're building something together. And it's really exciting to watch that as well. So it's all part of the culture. So, okay, the first thing I want to talk about is our team and team culture and what does it look like to build that foundation. I believe there are three of the most important things in building a team culture. And the first one is your meetings. When you're having your meetings and what do your meetings look like? So just diving right in, I'll say if you don't have a daily huddle, this is the most important thing you can implement. And if you do have a daily huddle, let's talk about what it looks like. Okay. So our daily huddle is absolutely an expectation. It is a non-negotiable on the team. If you can't hit our daily huddles and you can't attend our meetings, it's a no-go. This is just not the right time for you to be on the team. Even a part-time agent, if they have another obligation, they own another business, a family business, I don't care. That's fine. But you have to be able to attend all of our meetings. Have to. The other thing with that is on your daily huddles, is what kind of participation are you getting? If you just have them and nobody is participating, they are a waste of time. And I've seen it a lot, or they get stagnant. And sometimes you have to really recreate what is happening. How can we get more engagement? But a few things that we've done, I feel like fairly well in getting engagement is one is make sure it's a video, not just a call. They have to show their face. I don't care what they're doing. I mean, I've got agents, a lot of moms on my team. Some of them are changing diapers, getting their kids dressed. Some of them are driving their kids to school. Some of our agents are putting their makeup on. I don't really care what they're doing. That doesn't bother me. I mean, show up decent, but I don't care. They don't have to be sitting in front of their computer and 100% ready to go. I want them to show up because this is the start of everyone's day. Right? This is the start. This is the start of how we run a successful business is to get up and show up 8 a.m. every day. It's on our team calendar. It's another something we can talk about, but our team calendar. So nobody has an excuse. I forgot, didn't see it on my calendar. It's on everyone's calendar with a link. It's a Google Meet, just like it is here. And it's super easy to be on. So we ask our agents to be on from 8 to 8:20. Sometimes we end it a little bit early. It just depends. If my agents are super quiet, I'm not just going to hold them there. I really want to hear what's going on, but it allows all of us to be on the same page the entire, it just kind of starts the day off right. And so the structure of our daily huddles looks like high lows, and we talk about what we have working that is very good, what do we have that is kind of exploding, or what do we need help with? Maybe there's something that they can get input in from other agents, and gratitudes. So those are the things that we really go over. If they have questions about something, by all means, bring it to the huddle if it can wait. That way everybody can hear. If you've got a buyer need, if you've got a new listing coming up. So that is the base of what our daily huddles look like. The highs and lows are super important. And the reason it's not just highs is because it gives me an idea of where all of our agents are at. The highs and lows also don't have to be just about real estate. They can be about anything. They can be about something personal. They could be my kid won their soccer game last night. And we've had people say that they had a relative pass, they had an animal pass away. I mean, there's all kinds of things being shared on this huddle. Also, sometimes it does get emotional. And sometimes that's, difficult, but it really allows me to see who do I need to maybe check in with after this, who maybe another agent will check in with them. It really is incredible for the synergy on the team to start the day off right. Mostly they're highs. I will say that is the majority of what we're sharing is highs, but we absolutely get with the lows, low appraisal, whatever else is happening in their business or personally. But it's a really great way to have everybody kind of rowing in the same direction and start their day off right. The other thing we do is our in-person meetings. And it's really, really important how your meetings look, because this, again, is your synergy for the week. So for us, and I know every team is very different, we have a really small town. So the max it would take anybody to get to our office is probably like 15 minutes. And so, but our in-person meetings, we have them twice a week. If you can only have one, I would absolutely recommend a minimum of one in-person meeting a week. Get those agents starting their day in the office. That is the whole goal. They're starting their day in the office. They're usually more successful, more productive, getting more things done. But make sure it's high energy. One of ours is on Monday morning at 8:30. So that's when we get started on Monday morning. So if anybody needs to make a quick phone call or call lender or title or whatever they need to do first thing in the morning, they've got 30 minutes to knock that out. And then we meet at 8:30. And we have the music turned up loud. People are making coffee, grabbing a soda, whatever they do first thing in the morning. I provide that stuff too in the kitchen because, again, it's all about synergy and creating a good culture. And our agents are sharing what their weekends looked like, and they're just having fun. They're just having fun, being around, chatting, getting ready for the meeting. I'm normally kind of in my office, like getting mentally prepared. I walk in. I always say the same thing every single morning. I say, good morning, happy Monday. And then we all stand up for the beginning of the meeting, clap a little bit, and we say, all right, let's share some highs and lows. What do we got going on? And then start with somebody, and then we kind of make it our way around the room, whether that is contracts or we had somebody that went to the St. Louis Blues game last night, whatever, just sharing the exciting things that are going on, or lows if that is happening too. And that just kind of gets the vibe really going. And then on Mondays, we work on script practice. So that is just a day of basically like sales training. And it's always super fun. It's always interactive and high energy. And that's what all your meetings need to be. They need to be really high energy. And what is in it for me? If it's all just come in and watch a slideshow for, an hour. I've done all of the things. So I'm speaking from experience. I've done it all. So usually you're not going to get a ton of engagement. If you can have a team member lead some of these or get them involved or help you, that's even better. So a lot of times I'll call a team member before a meeting that I'm planning and say, hey, I really need you to talk about this experience that you had or this that you're doing that's working really well. Could you be prepared tomorrow morning to talk a little bit about it? And that works out really good because you already kind of got the buy-in from that agent. So, but I can't say how important team culture is in your meetings and just really being active with them. The other thing is if somebody is missing from one of my team meetings, we've got 15 of us, so it's easy to kind of miss if like a person or two might be out of the room. But I know the accountability that we have brought onto the team is that if somebody is missing, I will notice, but usually I don't even have to follow up with them. Somebody else on the team is going to call and check in, make sure everything is okay, which is a really, really cool place to be with culture because it's a lot to do as either admin staff or team lead is to do it all. You can't do all the things. So it's really nice having the team members that are so close and so tight knit that if somebody is missing, they're probably going to check in and see if everything's okay or where they're at, what's going on. So definitely team members. The other thing is like get creative, like use AI, use ChatGPT or something to come up with some ideas. I mean, it's hard when I had to plan 2 meetings every week and a huddle, and I try to bring something, a piece of training or something of value on every huddle too. So it is challenging. It's really challenging to come up with ideas. So I'll ask the team sometimes, especially if I'm running low or need to get creative, I'll ask the team, what do you guys want? What do you guys want our training? What do you want a training on? The other thing I'll do is, there's a lot of Facebook like forums and whatever. Elena has a great one and different meeting ideas, like ask in those and get another idea that's worked good for other team leaders. We do a lot of trivia. So like I'll pull up all of our listings and I want our agents to know our listings from sign calls. So I'll go through and say, what listing of ours is priced at $465 with 4 bedrooms, 3 bath and was built in 2021. And, or something along those lines. And that's always fun. I have a big, like a brown paper stack and I have like candy bars and tape measures and, stuff that realtors like. And every time somebody wins, I'll throw it across the room. So that's a fun one. Just anything you can do to get engagement and something out of the box, something to make people have a good time. The second thing that's really important in your team culture is your core values. Your core values are what your foundation is actually built on. And that's how to keep everybody rowing in the same direction. If you don't have core values and you're already running a team, that's okay. I didn't either. I didn't have them for a long time. I didn't even realize how important they were until I implemented them. Core values shouldn't be something that you just Google, throw on paper, and hang up at your office. Core values should be something that you are actually living out and something that you aspire to live out every day in your team. And your team needs to be engrossed in those. They need to understand what they are. So when I built our core values, I created them and then I just kind of sat and like meditated on them for a while. I let them just kind of hang out there for some time because I didn't know if I was going to stick with those or if those all made the right sense. After I was good and had edited them a bit, I brought them to my team and I pulled them up and I said, these are our new core values. But before we finalize this and actually hang it on our wall, I really want to make sure that we round robin this with our team. And is this something that we live out? Is this something that we're all in alignment with? And it was the best thing ever because we really got to round robin like all of those ideas. And it was really fun. And so we created those core values. You can't just have core values either and never bring them back to your team. If they're posted on the wall, that's great. You need to have them there. But they have to be implemented and they have to be talked about. And so back to our team meeting, we always on our team meeting will bring up our core values. It's actually a slide that never changes. In the very beginning of our team meeting, I have a slideshow that I go through some of the same things every week. And one of those is our core values and how did we implement some of these in the last week? And it allows our agents to speak up and say, hey, one of our core values is have fun. And if some of our team members went out and did something together or, we had a team event or something like that, or if we've just been really good at having fun around the office, that's also awesome. Doing the right thing even when it's hard. There's a lot of different ones. And it's really cool to see how your team members are thinking about it and prepared for your meetings. We also have a slide in there about gratitude, which is really cool. So we give gratitude to someone. It might be other members on the team. It might be affiliates, title, lender, whoever. It might be a client. It might be your family members. It could be anybody. The giving gratitude in your team meetings is also, it just brings about the state of your culture. Super important. And then the last thing on team culture, the very third most important is accountability. And accountability is one that nobody really likes to talk about because it's usually the most uncomfortable for us as team leaders. I think it's one of those that, we want to believe we're doing well. We want to believe that we do, but sometimes we're not. And we really have to reflect on what kind of accountability are we actually doing. But accountability also needs to be fun because if it isn't, then we're just working. And that's one reason people got into real estate. It's different. It's a different kind of industry and it is fun. And so some of the ways you can do accountability and in a really exciting way is, I think I got this from a Chet Black training or something, but the go to the board exercise, that's a really fun one. And we've I think we tweaked it just a little bit, but we go to the board once a quarter. And by go to the board, we have a whiteboard in our office on an easel. It's not a huge one, but we leave it there. And one by one in our team meeting every 12 weeks, we have each agent go to the board and during that meeting and write down, well, first they say, this was my commitment that I made the last 12 weeks. And did I hit it? Yes or no? And if no, why not? And if yes, how? How did I do it? And here's my new upcoming commitments. So this is my commitment for the next 12 weeks. And this is how I'm going to do it. And the last thing is, when I hit this, what will it do for me? And there's no right or wrong answer. This might be just paying bills. It might be paying off a credit card. It might be buying an investment property, padding savings. It could be anything. And there's no right or wrong. And they can choose and decide how they want to share that. But we ask that things are shared because it's real motivation for somebody to share what they want to do on the team or what they're committed to doing, and then have their whole team holding them accountable. And being able to say at the end of that, did you pay that credit card off? Were you able to pay it off? Or along the way, hey, I know you don't feel like doing this today, but we're doing it because you have a goal to hit. And it's really awesome watching each other hold each other accountable. So it isn't all on us. And they took me a long time to really get that, because I'm a person that just takes kind of ownership of everything when I shouldn't. And I really do believe that accountability is one of those, that your team members can hold each other accountable and create that kind of culture. Another thing is having really good one-on-ones with your agents. It's the ultimate importance to have a good one-on-one, and not just about your goals, not just about what your pipeline looks like. Those are all really important things. But I also believe that going through and really talking with your agents about what's going on with them personally, what's happening at home, what is happening outside of their business, are they working on other exciting things that maybe you should know about? I've got some agents that are really, really into working out, and physical fitness is extremely important to them. And so they have huge goals there. And so I want to support them in that way as well. I have team members with, sick family members, and I want to make sure I stay on top of that and really understand what's going on there and be there for them as much as possible. And so those one-on-ones they're crucial just to know your agents and have a good friendship with them and a good relationship. But it also brings back accountability at the same time, because they're more open and apt to talking to you about what's happening in their life and their business if you know more things than just what their pipeline looks like. So that's the last thing for team culture. Elena, how long do I have?
That's awesome. Technically, like 6 minutes. We sometimes go over though, so no.
Okay, I'll make it quick. One of the things too about team culture is what's happening when you're not in the room. That is a really good way to see how your culture is. So I could go on, but I'll leave that where it is. Attracting the right people. So if you guys have maybe a smaller team, or maybe a team member who is afraid of growing, who I was in this a few years ago. I had a couple team members who were really afraid that if we grew, as we kept talking about growing the team, that maybe they'd be left behind. Maybe there would be no leads to share. Maybe who knows what, lots of different fears. And we really talked about, what this would look like for them. And as much as you try to calm somebody, sometimes they just still can't see past what's the mental block in their minds. And so anyway, getting the right people in the room, it will change your culture for the better. It will change it so for the better. When we had 5 agents versus now we're 15, our culture is 10 times better than when we had 5 agents, 10 times better. And it's just by adding the right people. And make it very clear to your team. If you don't accept all team members, let them know. Like, if you don't accept every application, let them know that. They should know. This is a special group of people, and not everyone makes it in this room. And if they do and they're not the right person, then they don't get to keep going. And that's just how it is. A few years ago, we read the book Energy Bus, and it was the best thing our team ever read. It was hard because we had a couple team members that left, and it was really hard, but it was the best thing that ever happened. Just the best thing that ever happened for a culture. as far as recruiting goes, it's really just about a mindset. You don't have to fill so many spots. There is no rule that you have to recruit so many people ever so often, at least not in my book. I'm not the fastest growing person by any means. I'm not. And I'm okay with that. Everybody's on a different journey. But if you could grow at a rate where you're attracting the right people and not just recruiting, then it's going to be much more sustainable. I know that I'll have people argue with this. I know they'll say, no, you need to recruit a ton of people because they're just going to leave you anyway. Mine have not. It's living proof that if you treat them good and like humans and really care about them, then they will stay with you. They will. And it doesn't matter how much they sell because they'll still stay. It's about the relationship and still seeing value in a place that they call home. And so, yeah. We'll say that. The other thing when I interview somebody is I tell them I'm looking for 4 things. And I let the person know who's interviewing. I say, I'm looking for 4 things. Not everybody makes it on the team, but these are the 4 things that we're looking for. I'm looking for somebody who's hungry, humble, kind, and coachable. Those are my very 4 most important things. If you're not coachable, you're definitely not a good fit. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about being here, right? It's because you want coaching. And you want a mentor, and you want somebody to pour into you so you can be better and faster at this business. But those are the 4 things. And I'm okay with telling everybody that, the people who are interviewing to be on the team and the people who are currently on our team. Let's keep going. Okay, let's go to retention now, just because I know I only have a couple minutes. And this was a recent event. Some of our team members, super fun. But losing some of your best people can also hurt your culture. When they've been there for a long time, they become a leader. And I've seen when top producers leave a team, how sometimes it is really difficult. And so I heard something last year at an event, and I can't remember exactly how it was said, but it'll stick in my mind forever, and I'll forever think about it. It's your leaders can never grow, your agents can never grow higher than the leader they're led by, basically. And it hit me so hard because I'm like, I have to constantly be growing. And I always am. But I mean, I better grow at a pretty rapid rate because I've got some agents that as human beings, investors, people, agents, they're growing fast. And I have to make sure that I'm always staying ahead of that because as soon as they surpass me, they'll leave me and go somewhere else or do their own thing. And I know that. I know that because I've been there. I left places where I felt like I had just outgrown it. It wasn't anything wrong with the leader. I had outgrown the leadership. And I don't want that to happen to me. And I'm sure in life, I'm sure in general that it is possible. I'm sure that could potentially happen one day, but I want to make sure I always stay so far ahead and that I'm always growing so that I can help all of our agents grow, no matter what way that is. If that's leadership, just as a person, as a parent, as a spouse, as a leader, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that that's where I'm at. Burnout is very real. So you have to check in with your people. You have to make sure, again, to have fun. I am very good friends with some of our agents, and I would like to be friends with all of them. And over time, I'm sure I'll become better and better friends with them. But those are things that you need to know what they love, and you need to do those things with them. One of my agents really loves comedy, and I've kind of enjoyed that too recently. And so that's our thing. Now we go see comedians on tour. And it's really fun actually being friends with your people. I go to a lot of real estate conferences, and I hear a lot of people use words like babysitting, hand holding to my agents, a lot of those kind of things. And I get where they're coming from. It's a lot of work being a team leader. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. But if you talk like that behind their back, I believe it's just like anything else. You just can kind of feel somebody's heart, And so, yeah, that's what I'll say. I would just be really, really careful about the words that you use. When you're talking to one of your agents, don't talk about another agent behind their back. I mean, it seems very clear, but I do think it's very important. And sometimes it's just not thought about, especially as we become friends with each other. So Elena, I know I'm going over. I can stop now, but and I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'm sure some people have hopped off because we're over time.
No, Chelsea, this was awesome. Thank you so much. I had a lot of questions, but we are at time. This was this was so much value packed in just like 25 minutes. So this was incredible. Thank you so much, Chelsea. I am curious, how many values do you have in your team?
We have 6 core values.
6 core values. Do you mind sharing what they are?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I won't pull up the slide, but, and honestly, even though we talk about them every single week, I'm not one that we don't like chant them or whatever. But having fun, doing the right thing, even when it's hard, working for something bigger than yourself. And those are probably the 3 that we talk about the most because they're actually difficult to do. Having fun in your business is actually somewhat difficult. Doing the right thing, even when it's hard. We've got situations where an agent will say, you know, I had a seller who is actually wanting me to go about this situation this way. But I felt like that was not the right way. So we had the conversation and we ended up doing the right thing versus what they were wanting me to do, or any situation.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea. I really appreciate your time. This was, yeah, like I said, there's so much value in this session. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time and sharing so openly about everything that you've learned. I know this probably has taken you years to learn all of this. So thank you so much for being so open.
Yeah, definitely still working on all of these things, but this is what I figured out so far. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.